What's up, fight fans? Welcome to my channel. This is Johnny, and in today's video we're going to be going over the statistics that nobody talks about when mentioning last night's fight at 135 pounds between William Zepeda and Tevin Farmer. Guys, before I continue, I want to say thank you to all the new subscribers. Thank you to everybody who's been with me since day one. And if you haven't already, could you please hit subscribe? Could you also like this video, as well as at the bottom of your screen right now, hit the bell notification button so you can be notified every time I put something out that's new. Thank you. All right, guys, wrapping up an exciting weekend of fights was a fight at 135 pounds taking place in Cancun, Mexico. It was a rematch between William Zepeda and Tevin Farmer. The first fight was exciting. It saw a lot of drama, a lot of back and forth action in which Zepeda was dropped early in that fight by a beautiful counter backhand by Farmer. Zepeda ultimately went on to win that fight. The rematch was being heralded by all the fans and all the promoters, so that's exactly what we got. Going into this fight, Farmer was close to a 4-1 underdog, and we documented the fight all week. Before we continue, I'll show you how I predicted this to go down. You look at rematches historically in fights, the winner of the first one, statistically speaking, wins the second one. I just feel that the output and that pressure and the volume of all the punches landed on Farmer, I think we're going to see a little bit lesser version. In my prediction, I'm taking William Zepeda, not necessarily because of the record or his trajectory. I just feel that Farmer's not going to be the same guy. Look, whenever you have a fight, from the first part of your career to the end of your career, they always talk about you leave a little bit of you as the fighter in the ring. And at 34 years old, Farmer isn't getting any younger. And like I said, he took a lot of shots, a lot of body shots, and I just feel that Zepeda is going to continue to turn that volume up. He's going to come to the fight with the same game plan. I'm taking him to beat Tevin Farmer. I just feel when you watch William Zepeda, it doesn't take a lot of footage to see his style. He is constantly pressuring his opponents. They call him camarón, which means shrimp, but I'd like to know what the word swarm is in Spanish, because that's what his style reminds me of. He's constantly on you. He's constantly pressuring. Every time you land something big on him, he comes right back at you. This was an exciting fight. It had narratives going on throughout the fight. Early on, Tevin Farmer seemed to injure his elbow or injure his hand, and Zepeda saw it and he tried to pressure him. It almost looked like Zepeda punched himself out, and then sure enough, the toughness, the grittiness of Tevin Farmer overcame that, and he started winning rounds. At the end of the fight, it went to the decision. This was atrociously judged by one of the judges as a draw. That is wild. So today we're going to look at the statistics. Personally, I gave it 8-4 to Zepeda, maybe 9-3. All things considering, people were saying, oh, Farmer had the bigger moments. I disagree. Farmer's style, he was pot-shotting, but the body work, once again, from William Zepeda proved to be too much. His numbers were insane. We're going to look at the total output. We're going to look at the percentages as well and the ratios and compare and contrast both guys' volume in that exact fight. Guys, William Zepeda solidified his position as the mandatory challenger for the IBF lightweight champion Shakur Stevenson, winning a majority decision over Tevin Farmer in their rematch on Saturday night. Zepeda was credited with throwing far more and landing many more punches, landing 344 out of 974 attempts compared to just 152 of 679 from Farmer. Zepeda's connect percentage was also much higher, 35% to Farmer's 22.5%. Farmer managed to outland Zepeda in just one round, the 12th, when Farmer landed 27 of 74 attempts compared to 23 of 79 for Zepeda, with some feeling he should have been credited for a knockdown in that round as well. There's some controversy with that. I definitely did not think that was a knockdown. We can't just start calling push knockdowns. Also, I should mention that referee, he needs a little bit of a talking to. Tevin Farmer grabbed and hugged almost the entire time. If he wasn't exiting on the outside or running from Zepeda's pressure, every time they would clinch, he would hold Zepeda. Nothing was called. It was frustrating Zepeda. So that in itself, to think that you could grab, push, and then in the 12th round, your fans could beg for a 10-8 due to a knockdown is hilarious to me. There is zero evidence that this was a robbery. Farmer got outworked, he got outclassed, and he got outgunned. Also, like I said, the referee on multiple occasions never even warned Farmer. At least give a warning for holding. We didn't see any of it. And after it was all said and done, if you were live streaming with us, this was my recap. Zepeda once again wins the rematch. Jesus, this fight was exciting. Tevin Farmer looked hurt multiple times. He apparently injured his hand or elbow around the 3rd, 4th, 5th round, overcame it, took a lot of damage, started winning rounds later in the fight, Man, it's tough to say anything negative about Farmer, but how about the pace and output of Zepeda? This was a really fun fight. Zepeda wins another. Now, guys, to remind everybody at 135 pounds, the champions currently are Shakur Stevenson, Tank Davis, Keyshawn Davis, and Vasily Lomachenko. The fans have been calling for a long time now. We know with Oscar and Golden Boy wanting Zepeda to fight Shakur. We'll see if that happens. That should happen next. When we start thinking about stylistically, they say styles make fights. I don't know if I would bet Zepeda to lose against any of the champions, and this sounds controversial, but a lot of the guys aren't going to sit there and throw punches with him. A lot of the guys are going to counter. We know how low volume Tank is. We know Shakur is going to want to move around and counter, but Zepeda forces you to fight him, and he forces you to make a decision. So I'm not going to say I would bet against him against any of the champions. Keyshawn Davis, I think that would be the most intriguing right now. I know it's probably going to be Zepeda versus Shakur, but as a fan and styles, just the way Keyshawn's been fighting and sort of the energy he brings into the ring, I think he would stand there with Zepeda, and we would really get to see if Zepeda's 33-0 record with 27 knockouts is as true as it says it is on paper. So I'm not predicting the future. That's not what I do this for. I'm just stating the facts. My opinion in this video, a couple of them were that I do not think that was a knockdown in the 12th. I'll stand behind that. I by far do not think this was a robbery. This was closer to a wash than the first fight. The first fight was way closer in terms of maybe giving Farmer the tab. This one, Zepeda clearly outpaced him, outpressured him, outlanded him, outpointed him, and beat him almost everywhere. Kudos to Farmer being tough. It's what veterans do, though. This is a blood sport. These guys aren't going to come in and roll over and die. They're going to fight until the very end, and that's exactly what we saw and what we've grown to expect from Tevin Farmer. Guys, stay tuned to the channel. We have a huge week of boxing. There's multiple cards on at the end of the week, so I'll be featuring them here. We'll be breaking them down and giving you my prediction. This past weekend, we went 5-0. We won all the fights in Vegas, headlined by Michaela Mayer and Sandy Ryan, and we won this fight taking Zepeda. If you guys haven't seen the breakdown of the winners and losers from that top rank card in Las Vegas, stay tuned to the channel because that's coming up right now.